States claim that their currencies are reliable. Every government promises that it will stand behind its commitments, and we usually choose to believe this, because believing makes us feel safe. But history makes no promises, it always shows reality. From Rome to France, from the American Civil War to modern Lebanon, humanity has repeated the same story. One morning people woke up and realized their savings were no longer useful for gaining anything. Their money was still there, but it had no value. At that very moment, one understands. Money equals trust, and trust hangs by a thread. Take Byzantium, for example. For centuries, its gold was so solid that everyone accepted it without question. Merchants never even hesitated. But then the rulers slowly began to debase the gold coin. At first, no one noticed what was happening. Then, confidence was damaged. That reliable money turned into ordinary metal. History actually shows us this. When countries are cornered, they can hardly resist the temptation to tamper with money. And then one day the Black Death emerged. Nearly half the population of many countries perished. For those who survived this catastrophe, an interesting economic picture appeared. Labor declined, the value of work increased. There was plenty of land, but few people. At that moment, an opportunity arose for those who had money and the power to produce, and they rose rapidly. Didn't we see the same scenario during COVID? Markets experienced sudden and sharp volatility. Not everyone emerged profitably from this situation. Those with cash and assets evaluated the moment well. Others struggled with debt and uncertainty. Another example. Renaissance Florence, the financial center of Europe. Great banks, powerful houses. Everyone said they were too big to fail. But when debts climbed to levels that could not be repaid on time, giant banks collapsed. The deposits of those who trusted them fell to zero. The idea of too big to fail gives people comfort, but history shows that it is not very realistic. During the American Civil War, both the North and the South printed money. In the South, inflation reached such a point that people carried piles of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. The paper existed, the value did not. There are similar patterns in the French Revolution. New money was printed, there was hope. Then it was printed recklessly, and confidence vanished. People began to prefer metal and goods instead of paper. In 1997 in Asia, in 2019 in Lebanon, people never saw the money they had deposited in the bank again. One morning the doors were closed. Your money was actually a loan you had given to the bank, and in a crisis you could not retrieve it. Do you know what the common point of all these events is? Systems are never permanent, and neither is trust. And those caught unprepared are often the ones who say, nothing will happen anyway. But there is an important point here. This is not a horror story. It is a matter of situational awareness. Collapses do not bring only ruins. They also bring redistribution. Throughout world history, while some lost everything, others rose as if running. The difference has often been this. Those who had tangible assets, those who were not drowning in debt, those who were productive, those who remained innovative, and perhaps most importantly, those who always considered that the system could be fragile, because true protection is not only gold or land, it is skill. It is the capacity to produce. It is the ability to create initiatives that respond to people's emerging needs. Money, in certain periods, loses its real meaning, but food production, trade, and craftsmanship are always valuable. Therefore, the real question is not, will everything collapse? The question you need to see is this. If this system one day becomes unsustainable, will you be holding only a piece of paper in your hand, or something tangible that can visibly create value? History never shouts, but it repeats, and those who can hear its whisper are usually less surprised. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History repeats itself. I will show you in all its naked reality where you need to look to see the true nature of money. It is time to wake up.